Welcome back to Footballology. So as you guys know, around this time of year I like to edit and throw videos on the channel about other prospects. I don't like to talk about the main prospects because we all know about the main prospects. We all know about what they're going to do, what they're capable of. But we got to start shining light on some of these other guys. And I think the NFL is making a really big case for that this year. And hopefully they stick to their word by having the HBCU Combine and also the HBCU Legacy Bowl. And I definitely have to watch the Legacy Bowl. And I'm so happy that they did it because a guy like Marquis McClain stood out to me and was able to really showcase his abilities. And I mean, if you guys watch the game, you know exactly what I mean. He made a lot of tough catches in that game. He made a lot of contested catches in that game. And so I had to know more about him. I didn't know anything about him prior to that game. So I had to know more about him. Went over to YouTube and decided to look up some highlight reels, see how bad this man really was. And the first video I come across was sick edits. And I'm telling you guys right now, when I put together a report and I'm evaluating a prospect, I always come up with my own report and my evaluation first before I look at anybody else's opinion, report, or anything. Because I want to know if I can compare their notes to my notes and if we stay on the same page, or if they seen something I didn't see and something that made more sense after reading theirs. But I really like to come up with my own and then compare and contrast notes. But in this instance, I decided to go to the comment section just to see what everybody else thought. And the first thing, I seen several comments, and several comments kept saying that this man should move to running back, and I didn't love that idea. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But I can see what they meant. A lot of people were saying that his ability to route run or create separation, which granted in his 40 time you'll see that he really can't create separation. That's not his game. But he's also a really tough tackle. So I can definitely understand why they felt like he should move to the running back position. But I'm like, I watch more of video of him. I watch more highlights, whatever I can possibly watch on him. I watch as much as I possibly can. And I'm like, he's a tough tackle doesn't mean he should move to running back. And the first thing that came to mind, the first process or the comparisons that came to mind was this man right here, Mr. Anquan Bolden. Now, if anybody knows NFL, anybody watched the NFL, we all know that Anquan Bolden was a really tough tackle. He was a really hard-nosed receiver. I think against the Jets, he broke his jaw, and then 2 weeks later was back on the field. The man was a really tough receiver, and that's the first thing that came to mind when I see McClain. And then I was like, that's really interesting. You look at some of his combine numbers. He ran a 4.73. He jumped 33 in the vert. He stands 6 foot 216. And then we go look at McClain's number from the HBCU Legacy Bowl or HBCU Combine. Sorry, he's 6'2", 215, 5'8" hands, arms are 33, and then he ran a 4.62 and jumped 38. So I was like, those are fairly similar or comparable numbers. The height was the only thing that kind of threw me off. Granted, you're not going to get the height spot on, but their play style was very similar. And then I realized on YouTube that the Saints had interviewed him. I want to say pre-Legacy Bowl, they interviewed him, and I was like, the Saints, Michael Thomas. So I had to go over here. I had to look up Michael Thomas combine report. And if you go look at Michael Thomas combine report, he stands 6'3", 212, 4.57. Jump 35. So I was like, this is probably a closer comparison. And the only thing, like, when Michael Thomas won, was it, did he win anything? I'm not sure if he won, but when he broke the record for the most receptions in a single season. The joke was all he did was run slants. That was it. But when you have a tough tackle or a big body receiver like that, you can get away with that. Now, I'm not saying McClain is Anquan Bolden. I'm not saying McClain is Michael Thomas. But what I'm saying is that is an NFL comparisons. That these are guys that wasn't the greatest athletes that still carved out a role for themselves within the offense. And as we see today, if you guys remember throughout this past season, when the Niners got down to the bare minimum on running back, who did they use? A receiver, and Deebo Samuel, who got a lot of good play out of that position. McClain can still give you that, plus give you those tough catches across the middle. This is a raw, talented receiver that I feel like in the right offense can actually shine and showcase his talents and really develop into something special. I don't think he should move to the running back position. I'm excited for him. I think that he should get a chance. Hopefully, I would like to see him get drafted because that means he was actually a good priority on somebody's radar. But for sure, he's going to be a priority free agent, and he's going to go into a camp. And I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks on a 53-man roster. I think McClain is definitely a solid, strong, big body receiver, a guy that can definitely add some value and just probably add some competition to a lot of NFL receiving cores. So I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know what you guys' opinion. Do you feel like he should move to running back? I'm gonna put everything that I found on him in the description box below, so you guys can definitely come up with your own report. I know you're watching this video and you're gonna look at what I said, and you're probably gonna maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. If you disagree, definitely tell me why you think he should move and why you don't think he should. He's not compared to those receivers, or if he's compared to somebody else that makes sense to you. And if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go on and hit that subscribe button today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.